Hello everyone, welcome back to Speedy's Legos and Collectibles. Today we will be reviewing the Coo Model 1/12 Palm Empire Teutonic Knight 1/12 scale figure. This is a little bit of an older figure, but I really like historical knights, and I think a lot of my 1/6 Coo Model figures, which I will do some reviews of hopefully in the future, are really high quality, so I decided to pick up some of the 1/12 scale ones. I will also be doing a review for this guy, the Knights Templar, in another video. So let's go ahead and get into it. They come in this very simple, just kind of plastic clamshell packaging. Nothing too fancy, just kind of a small standard box here as well. But yeah, first impressions is he looks pretty good. So got the nice little plastic helmet here. Unfortunately, it's not metal like their 1/6 scale figures, but it is a pretty high quality feeling like plastic piece with a nice silver and some like gunmetals airbrushed into it. We've got the shield here. Once again, this is also plastic, but I actually prefer this to be plastic over metal or alloy because then it will get too heavy and it kind of sags the figure's hands or arms down. In general, it looks really nice. The cross looks, good on there. There's a light shade of a mixed white and yellow wash across here to give maybe a little bit of rust texturing around the edges, and it just generally looks nice. The fake wood could maybe have a little bit more of a darker airbrushing there to kind of blend it a bit better, but in general, looks good, works really well. The front, is what you're going to be seeing anyway, so it serves this purpose. Let me go ahead and fight to get this out here. We have the little dagger here. It looks like his head came off, but I'm assuming that was just kind of how it was packed in here by the previous owner. Got the little dagger here. This is metal, and this is beautifully detailed. You can see it's got some nice little symbols here all around the actual guard and handle, and maybe a kind of actual, some nice design where the actual handle holds on. And the sheath itself is plastic, but it still looks really nice, well-painted plastic piece, and it fits in there nicely. It's really cool that they chose to include metal weapons, given that they did the shield and armor out of plastic. I did not expect these to be metal, so that's a pleasant surprise. The main sword, the kind of normal sword, long sword here, looks really good. I absolutely love how this little pommel here has like little cross designs inside. The actual blade looks very pretty, nice and metal, a little bit sharp on the edges. Love the cross guard here too. Just a beautiful looking 1/12 scale sword. Don't know how historically accurate it is. I'm not fully touched up on my history of the Teutonic Knights, but it does look really good. And then you kind of got the little crotch grabber, so to speak, stand there. This guy does come with 2 pairs of open hands, just kind of normal 1/12 hands, nothing special there. Not too detailed, but not so poorly detailed that they would look like crap, He does have 2 grabbing hands in case you chose to remove his armor, and have him with his normal hands showing. As you see on the back of the figure, you can actually take off their robes and armor and put them in this more kind of like undergarments, like chainmail and type of look. But that's not something I will be doing today in this review. I prefer my knights to stay with their more armored appearance. We do have 2 relaxed armored hands with the gauntlets here. And then before we review the figure, allow me to return his head to his body, which it did just pop off. It looks like that the previous owner had just messed with that. And then you just got a very simple 1/12 stand here to put the actual figure on. Just pop that in there, and then nice little place to display him. All right, moving on to the figure himself. The head sculpt looks good, nice and detailed, just simple. I don't believe this resembles anyone. I believe this is just kind of a generic guy, but given that this knight is any one specific character to my knowledge, that makes sense. You've got this nice kind of textured cloth here to make the appearance of his chainmail underneath, which is nice because it makes it lightweight and really flexible. So for articulation, plenty of movability here. And then I love how they've done this kind of dirt and grime design toward the bottom of his robes, and it's all the way around. Really kind of sells the medieval look because these guys were walking around through the streets a lot and, doing a lot of dirty work, so to speak, out in the elements. So not having him be perfectly white and pristine is something I strongly prefer. So let's go ahead and go over articulation. Head looks down about yay far, looks up about that much. Of course, side to side, 360, no issue. can pop the head off if you chose to, just kind of a standard, you know, ball joint down in there. Kind of swap the heads around if you wanted to. It's not too hard to pull it off or pop it back on. Arms, a little bit past 90. Up here, forward, no problem. Back, no problem. There's maybe a butterfly joint in here too, so side to side, no issues. Arms go about this high, and then they kind of get stopped by the lower forearm armor there, but this piece is removable if you wanted to, you know, mess with that. Hands, a little bit of up and down, not as much with this piece in the way from the armor, but it's doable. You know, of course, 360 degree, just standard ball pegs, and he does have a bicep swivel if that's something that's relevant. Crunching down, the actual ab crunch itself is only about that much. Can't really go back, but you can just always hinge him at the legs, no problem. Hinge back decently well. His legs open almost fully do the splits, maybe hindered a little bit by a little bit of tightness in the cloth there. The leg pulls out about yay far before I meet resistance. And then kicking back, he can actually go back and touch his own back, kick his own ass, I guess. And then feet, fully swivel. Now, this is one of my biggest gripes with this figure, having looked over him before this review, and that is actually the foot articulation. It is not the best. So the figure looks incredible. The articulation is great on literally everything except when it comes to the feet. The feet, of course, can swivel, but there is no ankle rocker because of the shape of these hard plastic boots. There is no toe articulation. So he can be very challenging to get in some, very like dynamic poses with his legs, you know, spread, doing a stance, because those boots don't really move. Of course, you can work around it, but that is definitely the biggest con. That being said, everything else looks great. Got this nice little fake leather belt here with places to put the swords if you so choose. You can kind of just take them and slot them through here. No problem. Move them around wherever you would like to be on the figure. Kind of futz with that. Whatever works for you. I think I actually have just ripped this, unfortunately. Yep, I did. I did know that the previous owner warned me to be careful because this leather does not age the best, and I just pulled pretty hard on that, so it would appear that I have ripped off this piece right here. So I'm gonna have to glue that back on. I will say, that being said, if you're careful and not a barbarian like me, you should have no issues putting these in there, moving them around, displaying them however you'd like on the figure. But do be careful with them. And this guy is pretty high quality, especially given the price. You know, these guys retailed for like 65, 70 bucks. I got this guy for like 65 bucks. But they are not quite as high quality as the heavily armored other Coo Model Knights that they have released with metal and die-cast and alloy armor, nor are they as high quality as the Coo Model 1/6 figures. A lot of the Coo Model 1/6 figures are just absolute masterpieces, which is why they tend to range from $300 to $400 to $500. So, of course, at the price point, I don't expect it to meet that quality. Generally, I'd say it's a solid figure, maybe solid 7 out of 10. You know, is it like super particularly amazing, like the absolute highest quality it could be? No, but it is high quality. It looks good. The painting looks good. The actual design, clothing, cloth helmets, all of it's super nice. And for 70 bucks, no complaints. Amazing figure. We'll go ahead and pop the helmet on this guy. There we go. That looks really good. And then, you know, give him a shield, sword, whatever. But generally, really good figure. Hopefully, I'll see you guys in the next reviews. I'm going to go ahead and glue and fix this piece. But yeah, hopefully this helps you make your decision if you were looking at these guys on eBay or just wanted to, you know, learn a little bit more about these types of figures and just found the review interesting. Have a good rest of your week and see you guys next time.